Sound the trumpets. It's time for Warrior Connections. We are your battle buddies in Christ, standing shoulder to shoulder on the front lines of faith.
What we share here becomes your armor, your encouragement, and your fire to stand strong for God's kingdom.
Warriors, welcome back to another episode of Warrior Connection radio show on Beyond FM radio. All month long, we have been walking through tough but necessary conversations on suicide awareness, and we like to call it Prevention Month. We've talked about pain, hope, and healing, and today, for our final episode in this series, we're going to do something a little different. Because part of prevention is also learning how to find joy again. So today we're ending this month with laughter, encouragement, and a very special guest. He's an award-winning comedian, a passionate advocate for mental health, and someone who knows firsthand what it means to come back from rock bottom. So get ready, because this guest is going to blow your socks off. We're going to end on this awesome high note with hope, humor, and a reminder that you are not broken.
Woo!
I appreciate the cheering.
That was a good opening.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was a really good opening.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, for a big guest, and it got me out of talking about my
yes,
of
it
the.
did.
Just give me
No, left out on that. But I did agree with him that when he was sharing with us prior to that it is your story, and God's given you that story for a reason. Though you and I both know it is not your identity. It is something that God has called you to talk about because it's part of who you are, and it's part of your testimony, your story. And one of the things that I've always considered really important is that nobody really thinks about it. My story, they'll say things like, my story, it's not anything special, and everybody has this happen to them, and maybe so, but everyone's story, even to the, there's always something that's different. No one has the exact same story. And when you think about that, how just mind-blowing, right? That God's created in his infinite wisdom, in his infinite time, this, and everybody talks about it, in that form of a tapestry. It's all woven together, and each piece has its special part, and the big picture is revealed. But when you think about not just each thread, but how intricate that piece of thread becomes, like, okay, I'm getting really philosophical here, but like your DNA, right? We are still such a major part of this grand picture, and our story is part of it, and sharing it helps the next person to go and do it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Thank you. I'm glad you agree.
That was actually the first event that I spoke at was called My Story is His Story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
My story is his story.
And it's history and his story, know? And I think I like the punniness of that. But you're right. You did get out of sharing your story about Uric, and
well, I did share some of.
You did periodically throughout the month. He definitely was brought up in every episode in some way, shape, or form. But
he was our Peter Pan. Yes, he was the alphabetizing my pantry. The kids would come behind him and unalphabetize it just to irritate him.
Yes.
And I would be, one time I was at work, we actually used to host the town's haunted house.
Oh, really?
We actually started getting into competitive wars with a neighbor that was down the street of who could build the biggest Halloween display. Like, we had rooms that you would walk in and hallways and fire breathers. It was a pretty big deal in Colorado. Wow. And we used to get into this. I don't know where I was going with that.
Keep going.
I don't even know where it's going.
Is that
Oh,
what you're
because
saying?
Yorick, he was my informant. Like, they were supposed to build a wall for the Halloween display that year, and they decided to build a pirate ship in the backyard instead with the materials that I had bought for
Oh
this
my
thing.
god.
And he was all in until he heard my car coming, and he ran out to the car, first person out to the car. Mom, they didn't do anything all day. Like, he would tell on every one of them.
That's
But
funny.
he was just a good boy.
Yeah.
He's our Peter Pan. He wanted to be a police officer. He would have graduated May 11th,
Uh,
and he took his life on April 1st.
right on.
And well, my children have a very twisted sense of humor. They say that their brother has the longest running April
April
Fool's
Fool's
joke.
joke? Sure.
Yes. So they don't do April Fools anymore because they can't top that. And it really, I wish that it was an April Fool's joke.
Right.
And he had such of a humor that we think that might be why he did it then.
You think
And
so?
well, whenever that's actually one of the first memories I have, or not first memories, but it's in my blank years.
Mhm.
That's a memory that I didn't lose,
Wow.
and it was the call that he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where my memories, I don't know. And then there's stuff that has happened after he's passed away that I have no memory of.
Interesting.
So it's like I have the blank space, and then the memory of losing him, and then blank space.
Well, and do you think that God blessed you with that memory? Or do you think it was, more of a painful thing? Because, I think God was blessed you with loss of memory of some things that you don't need to remember, you
Right.
know? And the fact that he gave you that memory of such a traumatic time in your life, something that, was very painful.
Right.
You know, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, and that is, as our guest had encouraged you to do when we talked to him prior to our recording, that you should share your story. Do you not think it's strange that God kept some really painful memories from you, but he gave you that one? And if so, why, Desi? Look,
Right.
hey, I'm interviewing you right now and you didn't even know it.
We were just talking, you know,
Well, we're still just
but
talking.
we're just talking, yeah.
But
Well, there are days that I can talk, and I could do this entire story.
Mhm. I wanted to jump over into talking about um our upcoming guest, because for those of you who don't know this will be something that may or may not come up periodically throughout our recordings in our shows. I do all the editing. And
You're welcome, everybody.
yes, so when it's good, that's on me, and when it's bad, also on me. So this particular guest, obviously had us laughing a lot, right? But he was also traveling uh, through what he indicated was the state in which I live in. And so because he has a tour he's on, so he was traveling from St. Louis, Missouri area to what I believe was Ohio. And I like to think he was out of Missouri by the time he was speaking to us, but,
He was out somewhere far in the wilderness where they don't
and
have any reception
right.
at all.
So we did struggle a great deal with him freezing and him losing connections. And part of it actually is still in the recording because it was too funny not to put
This
in the recording.
goodness.
There were a couple of times where um we were under the impression that he was gone and he was not
Oh,
gone.
no. This episode. I apologize. We apologize in
No,
advance.
very hard at omitting some of our embarrassing moments. But I did leave
Oh,
in a part
no.
towards the end where you're like, "Trisha, I wanna hear all of it." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll listen to all of it." Because it was that funny. So,
Well, laughter is definitely the best way to end this
this
heavy
month.
month.
Yes.
And
Yes.
look out next month because we're not slowing down.
That's right. It's supposed to be at the end of the conversation. With
We're not. I mean, you
She's
edit
so
that
excited
around.
about next month. She's
I
already
am
talking
so
about it at the
excited.
beginning of this last episode.
I don't know how I'm going to top this guest, though.
I know. Which one?
Like,
I mean, this guy is phenomenal, but I mean, next
I'm
month.
going after
Okay.
people that have stories.
She is. And let me just tell you, I should have prefaced this in the beginning of the conversation. This gentleman who is going to be speaking here shortly was at a Celebrate Recovery event at Desi's church. And she just jumped on him as she always does. And she was like,
Not
look,
literally.
this was, no, I mean, not physically, metaphorically, verbally, maybe, but not physically.
Well, I had seen a video of him before I saw that he was coming to my church
Right.
because I had emailed him first.
Right. So you had
He
already
still has
emailed it before you went.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I saw he was going to my church. I'm like, oh, I'm going.
I'm going and I'm going to get him to be on that show in the next 3 days.
Trisha
Because
said, in the next 3 days, you can do that. I'm like, God willing. I
that's
said,
right.
God willing.
She's just like, I'm going to go ask him. He has a great story and it has everything to do with mental illness. It's perfect to end the month. And I'm like,
Yes.
you're crazy. We only got 3 days. We have to record. And she's like, if God willing, and lo and behold, I said, I need the interview by Friday. And folks, today we are recording on Friday. So God is just, really given Desi
You
an
just got to
amazing
keep
gift.
asking nice. You just got to keep asking nicely.
Well, it's called persistence.
That's right.
And that is one of my areas that I am not very good at. Like if I tend to get a little butthurt. I gotta be honest. I put myself out there once, you don't respond to me. I'm like, well, you don't like me? So that's why I'm like, Jazzy's really good at this part of the job. So praise God, Desi has found her calling, and that is being persistent and getting some amazing people on this show. And I mean, we have only been at this for a really short period of time, too. So it just adds all that much more wow to the whole situation.
It's so much fun. I
It
told you
really
we were
is.
going to have fun from day one
Yep.
when I said, you have to make a decision to be part of this group because I don't have anyone else picked.
And no one can be as fun as me. I'm sorry.
No,
I didn't mean that.
that's true.
Our next guy is pretty funny.
He is pretty funny. I would drive to see him.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. In fact, part of our conversation with him is that he is actually coming to our area and I'm getting a chance to meet him in a couple of weeks. So that's pretty fun. You got a chance to meet him, then I get a chance to meet him. I actually just ran out and purchased his book too, so I can get it read before I see him and have him sign it for me. So I'm pretty
Oh,
excited.
awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
He's a pretty great guy. So with no further ado, Desi, let's go ahead and get into that conversation with, do you want to say it or do you want to just wait? Should we wait?
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please. Break first.
Bye, guys. In a minute, we'll be back.
After these words.
After these words or two. calling all families and churches. Join internationally Kingdom Kids in affiliation with Battle Buddies and Get in the Word Ministries. It is your go-to for Christ-centered kids resources, all for free. Give your child the opportunity to learn with kids from other countries and all over the U.S. Whether it's object lessons, videos, or discipleship tools, Kingdom Kids is here to encourage spiritual growth, equip your children with the armor, and engage their hearts for Jesus. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Visit us on Facebook under Battle Buddies or getinthewordministries.com to learn more about Kingdom Kids, where faith, fun, and friendships come together across the globe in Jesus' name.
Welcome back, Warriors. Today on Warrior Connections, we welcome an award-winning comedian known for his clean, high-energy comedy. He's toured with names like Jason Crabb, The Isaacs, and Shonda Pierce, and is now headlining his own Laugh Responsibly tour, which I am very excited to hear. Beyond the stage, he's a passionate voice for mental health awareness, sharing his powerful story of adoption, depression, and redemption after a major life setback. With best-selling comedy albums, 2 inspiring books, and a brand new devotional, Mickey Bell brings both laughter and hope everywhere he goes. Welcome, Mickey, to Warrior Connections.
Hello, 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 hello.
I
And
am
all that was done since COVID.
right on. So,
Oh, wow.
really recently.
Yes, I started just a few months before COVID hit, and then COVID shut everything down.
Sure.
But that's when I was just getting started. So it was pretty cool to see God shut everything down so I could work out this comedy thing before I needed to really know how to do it.
And one of the things that I found really interesting about your testimony is that you were a pastor. Were you always a funny pastor?
Yes. I got that compliment a lot. I got that compliment a lot about the fact that people said I could keep their attention because they never knew what was going to come out of my mouth next. And I used that as a benefit. I used it a lot. Like I would plan to say certain things in my messages just so I could keep people's attention and throw things in there. So I never backed away from that at all. So doing what I'm doing
Yeah.
now is not that far of a stretch, but it is still a stretch because comedy was never in my view.
Really? So you
Ever.
never saw it as something you were going to do, huh? Huh. See, I grew up trying to be funny.
See, I was raised independent, fundamental, King James Version only Baptist. So I never knew that you could do comedy and be cleaned. We were not taken to see comedians. I got to see Johnny Carson, but it was on TV and I just thought it was a TV host. I didn't know it was a comedian type thing. So I wasn't exposed to that. And then you had people like Mark Lowry. There was a guy that was out there for a little while named Mike Warnke. We started getting a little bit of the
Mhm.
comedy out then, but I was already out of high school. I knew this had to be from God when he said it because this was not in my peripheral at all.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's always great when you can see and feel that from Jesus, like
Yeah.
when it's so apparent that it's something you just know you're supposed to be doing.
Well, and then you also ask that question. You'll ask that question in prayer, like, "Oh, wait a minute, where did that come from?" Like I'm asking you to direct me. I'm willing to go wherever you want me to go, and then he throws a curveball, and you're like, "Okay, well, wait a minute. Is there anybody else up there I can talk to? Because I don't know that I'm hearing this correctly. So I want to know. But no, it was that's how I knew it was God. I mean, because it was not something that I was trying to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. One of the things that I saw in your bio that interested me, and we obviously want to talk a little bit about your testimony, and we want to laugh, and we want to get into depression and anxiety. Those are kind of anxiety as well as suicide. Being that this is suicide, we're calling it Suicide Prevention Month as opposed to Awareness Month because
Mhm.
Desi said, we're all aware, but genuinely want to try to prevent it. I noticed that you did an album for NAMI, National
Mhm.
Alliance of Mental Illness, and I'm a huge lover of that organization. In fact, I volunteered for it for close to a decade because it's near and dear to my heart. So tell us how you got involved in doing things of that nature, connecting your comedy with mental illness.
Was doing comedy and was just really trying to figure out who I was on stage. There's a time, just like any singer, any professional, you got to figure out who you are, what your voice is, and what you want to say. Even in comedy, you're
Yeah.
taught not to just tell jokes, you're taught to say something. And what do you want to say when you're on stage? And so I was still trying to find my voice. I didn't know. I knew that I was just going to make people laugh, but after that, what's it going to be? I really thought that it was going to be more about me failing as a pastor, because as a pastor, I made some decisions that got me fired from the church. And if you're sitting there right now wondering, Mickey, what did you do? Well, I've got a book that if you buy it, you can figure it out. But I didn't, I thought it was going to be more of a redemption story. Like, I'm going to
Mhm.
show you guys that I failed. God brought me back. That's what I was
Right.
planning for. I did not realize that the mental health piece was going to far surpass that. It's like the redemption part of the story has become just another element of the story, and the mental health has taken on uh, the spotlight of what we talk about. And when Nami saw what I was doing and saw that I was getting ready to do a project, then we kind of teamed up together. And what we did was we gave contributions from that first project to Nami to help support what they
Awesome.
do. And so it was
Awesome.
really cool to team up with them to learn, because when you do that, you're able to learn more about what they do and the fight that they're in. And just being able to lend our
Mhm.
voice to that was a pretty awesome time.
Amen. Yeah. And having the opportunity to help bring such a stigma filled topic
Mhm.
and turn it into something fun is really really cool. So I really I commend you for joining up and teaming up with them.
Well, before we start asking questions, how about we let our listeners do you wanna share your testimony with us? On
Sure. Well, like I said, I was serving as a pastor, but if you go back to when I was a child, I found out at 13 years old that I was adopted at birth. And we were just kind of taught that you don't talk about it. Our family never discussed it. And so, because of that, I would pack away all of my pain and all of my emotions, and I would never deal with it. I did not know that was hurting me. I thought I was doing it as a form of protection, protecting my mind, protecting my emotions, protecting my thoughts. And so that's how I handled tragedy. And so whenever tragedy would happen in my life or any setbacks, and when I say setbacks, I mean even bullying in school, I just piled those emotions up and wouldn't deal with it. I found a way to offset that with humor. Then, when I became a pastor and got underneath that kind of weight, it wasn't good, because when I got put under some pressure, it's just like a pressure cooker. Everything that's torn apart, I can remember my mom cooking with a pressure cooker, and I've never thought of this before, so I don't know why I'm saying this, but I remember when she was going to cook pintos, not out of the can, because this generation doesn't understand that. This is back when you had the little whistler thing on the top and it would blow steam out. Well, I would have to help mom put that little rubber piece inside the lid because we couldn't afford a new one. So every time we got ready, we had to make sure that it would be sealed to handle the pressure. Well, I was blowing my top because I couldn't handle the pressure. And I started making
Yeah.
some bad decisions. And those decisions got me fired from the church. I hit rock bottom. And it wasn't because of a bottle, it wasn't because of drugs, but I hit rock bottom and did not want to live. I was so embarrassed because all I had prepared to do was be in the ministry. So I had no backup plan. I didn't have any experience. I didn't go to any type of college to get a degree so I could be a teacher or be an accountant. I never was going to be an accountant, but just anything like that. I didn't prepare for that, and so I literally was at rock bottom, going, "All right, God, what are we going to do here? Because unless I go with what you've already put in me, I don't know where I'm headed, and I'm scared to think about what direction I'm headed in, because the direction I'm headed in right now, I'm not going to be here much longer. So you're going to have to take over and you're going to have to show me some stuff. And he did, because, that's just how faithful he is. A lot of times we will
Praise God.
ask him to show us things, but and we'll say, well, God's not answering. No, God's answering. We're just not wanting to see what he's showing us. So you have to be careful when you
Mhm.
say things like that. So he showed me. And you know what? I was just a nut job, crazy enough to go out there and say, all right, God said to try this comedy stuff, put me on stage. And that's what we did.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. What's really yeah, last week on our radio show, I came to this revelation, and as someone who struggles with mental illness myself, I find that those of us, and Desi has also shared about her son who was very funny, who committed suicide. He was, the life of the party, if you will. And I find that those of us that have that kind of ability to be the life of the party sometimes do have some hidden issues, if you will, and that we use laughter as a way to deflect our internal pain and take the joy from other because of our ability to bring laughter to people. And so I was just curious about how you were able to heal through laughter and how you were able to turn your ability to be funny into such a powerful tool in recovery. Can you help share that?
What you just explained is a mechanism. The mechanism is that I have got to deflect. Now, some
Mhm.
people deflect different ways. We deflect with humor. Let's make them laugh
Mhm.
and let's act like we're not hurting.
Right.
Others shut down and stay at home. They don't want to be outside. They don't want to be around people. Other people cry. That's their deflection. Some overeat. Some drink. Some take drugs. Every bit of that is a deflection. It's a mechanism in response to something that is happening to us. And that's what I wanted people to
Right.
understand, that when you're dealing with an individual that's battling alcoholism or drug addiction or pornography or any of the lists that you want to list. I just listed the top 3 to get people's attention. But you got to understand, every bit of that is a mechanism. It's a mechanism to respond to what is happening in their life. Because no one wakes up every day and goes, you know what? I want to be miserable today. Let me go drink myself into oblivion. It doesn't happen. It's
Right.
a mechanism to respond. And so ours was laughter. We're just
Mhm.
fortunate, Trish, we're just fortunate that our mechanism is not looked upon or looked down by society like the other stuff that I mentioned.
Well, unfortunately, as you were listing that list, I got the biggest kick out of your list because I was like, okay, wait a minute, because about 3 of those are on me. I'm like, I
That's what I'm saying.
overeat. I
It's
mean,
mechanism. It's the
yep.
mechanism thing. And so, but I want people to understand that if someone's listening to me right now and you do have a drinking problem or you have an addiction, and maybe it's not cocaine, maybe it's to the prescribed meds that come from the doctor, maybe you do overeat. I want you to understand that we're all reacting to something. So that doesn't make you a
Mhm.
bad person. You're not a bad
Right.
person because you deal with those things. That's just how you're responding. Now, that doesn't give you permission to continue to respond that way. Now we have to find a more wholesome way. See, comedy is a wholesome way to respond instead of me running to the bottle. So my comedy
Right.
is a wholesome way for me to do it. And I make the joke all the time that I've been doing this all my life to deflect pain. Now I get paid for it. So, I mean, I can't complain, right? But it's
Right.
just a
Right.
mechanism. So stop beating yourself up over the fact that you got certain ways that you respond. Now let's take how you're responding and let's make it more wholesome, something that benefits your life instead of taking something away from it.
Right. Right. That's good. All right. So here's another good one for you. For for some listeners who might feel stuck
Mm.
right now in depression, can you give them a first step of what would you encourage them to do to take that first step out of depression, aside from, which I think they should definitely do this, which is go out and buy your devotional, You're Not Broken. Uh,
Well,
but
if the Lord leads.
that's
Yeah.
their first step.
And then go and see
Go
him.
and buy it. Yeah. Speak, Desi. Come on, Desi. Speak. Now, that's a great question. And I think a lot of people, I'm going to say this not to make people mad, but I think we overcomplicate it because the subject matter is complicated as it is. But everything that we do lends to how we feel. And you have to understand that the reason you're feeling the way you're feeling right now is because you decided to believe a thought that was put in your mind. A thought came
Right.
along that made you feel like you were invisible. You dwelt on that long enough to the point now you feel like you're invisible. Well, you know what? You feel invisible? Go look in the mirror. You're not invisible. So, and then you'll have things like, well, no one loves me. Come on. Somebody, even if you're puppy, I don't care who it is, somebody's going to love you.
Right.
So what we do is we're taking those thoughts. Now, to answer your question, what's the first step? The first step is captivating the next thought that comes into your mind. When that thought comes, then you have to say, wait a minute, let me pause right here. Is that thought benefit me or is it hurting me? Is it the truth or is it a lie? If it's a lie, I've got to captivate it, which is biblical, by the way, and then I have to replace it with the truth. Okay? I replace it with the truth. My psychologist, when I was going to meet with him, because I had to meet with him and a physician every week for an entire year just to be able to get out of the bed. One of the exercises he made me do for one of the weeks, I had to write down every thought that I had. Then I had to decide, was it positive or negative? Then I had to decide, was it the truth or a lie? And if it was a lie, I had to write it out and replace it with the truth. All right. Now I do it in my mind on the go.
All right. Okay. Whoa. Only a man would be given that job because y'all don't have near as many thoughts in your mind as us women do. Could you imagine, Desi?
No.
There's no way. I mean, I'd write down book upon book. I'd run out of ink.
My
Yeah,
next
well,
book is
it's-
available on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Well,
You're
that's
not
the
going to
whole
want to
thing.
read it.
That's the whole thing, though. That's the whole thing. We're getting so convoluted with all these thoughts. Well,
Yeah.
your emotions are based on what you're thinking.
Yep.
Right.
So unless you
Yep.
can get control of that, you're not going to ever be able to control your emotions. But I
That
want
is-
to
Sounds
add
like
to
he's
this.
in our Bible study.
Does
But I
sound like
wanna-
he's in our Bible study, doesn't it?
I want to add to this because this is very important. This is the most important part that you can hear. I am glad that I can solve my mental illness with a thought. And here's why. It's up to me. It's not up to my
Yeah.
haters. It's not up to those overly spiritual church people. It's not up to the pastor that doesn't understand. It's not up to my family who tell me just to get over it. It's not up to them. I don't have to have them to get better. And as long as I can concentrate on my thoughts and do it myself, I can get better. That's the
Yes.
key.
Yes. Very, very good. Very good.
Very good.
All right. Hey, real quick, guys, as much as we hate to do this, we're going to go to a quick break and we'll be back with more of Mickey.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. Usually, Desi goes BRB or something like that.
I see something random,
Yes.
and my daughter makes fun of me because people don't use BRB anymore.
That's old. That's
So-
old school. We try
I
not to do-
aged myself with a BRB.
But
I'm like,
we
what
used
do
to have
they
to say, we'll be back after this commercial break.
Looking for a powerful way to bring your church or community together? Battle Buddies, affiliated with Get in the Word Ministries, is a free, family-friendly performance that shares the love of Jesus in a fun, interactive, and unforgettable way. Through music, drama, and teaching from Ephesians 6, we show the importance of not only having a battle buddies, but how to suit up with the full armor of God. Invite battle buddies to your church or event today. Visit getinthewordministries.com to learn more. Okay, well, welcome back, Warriors. I'm so happy to continue this conversation with Mickey. He is just really hitting some key points for us. And I would like to get into some Laugh Responsibly. You have a really awesome upcoming tour that is got you running all over. In fact, you're not going to be far from me, and I am very excited to come see you. So, yay, I get to meet Mickey. I'm even gonna get it's a pizza party at our church. Yeah, I'm doing a pizza party, Mickey.
Well, that actually what that is the VIP. So
I
for the
know, I'm going
people
for
that
VIP.
buy the VIP tickets, that's the upfront seating.
You get
I was doing
pizza.
you get pizza. So I was doing all these VIPs with all these musicians, and it was like a Q&A. You sit there and people get to ask questions, get a picture, whatever. And I thought, forget that. We eating some pizza. So that's my VIP pizza
I
party.
tell you,
So you can get that.
I tell you what, Mickey, that's what drew me. I'm bringing my granddaughter with me, and by gosh, she wouldn't have. I mean, she wouldn't have wanted to do the VIP as much now.
Listen, who cares? Who cares who Mickey is as long as we got pepperoni? Who cares?
Pizza.
No offense, but she'll laugh at you. But so tell me about a little bit about being involved in Christian entertainment and what that looks like, and how you got to this Laugh Responsibly, and what it means to you, and how you hope the audience leaves your show changed.
Well,
Good
you've asked
question.
about 6 questions in that one
That
thing.
was
I
6
know,
of
right?
I'm thinking
They were
I'll answer.
what she meant to say was, how do you get a cool job that you get to make fun of the Karens in church and they laugh with
Awesome.
you?
That
and they
that's
laugh
why
with
the
you.
pastors love me.
And they laugh.
The pastors love me because they're like, you get to say what we can't say, and I'm like, and I love it. No, you were asking the question about the tour. I am very shocked. This is one of those moments where I'm shocked that I'm actually on tour doing comedy this quick in my career. Usually that's 10 years down the road, and I'm,
Yeah.
4 or 5 years into this. But here's what we did. So I wanted to take what you would normally get in a comedy club, and I wanted to take that show out of the club because, there are some church people that don't feel comfortable going to a club to do anything, much less to
Right.
listen to comedy. Most of the clubs have a 2-drink minimum. You buy your ticket, you got a 2-drink minimum. Of course, you can have, Diet Coke or Mountain Dew, but still, I wanted to take what was inside the club, bring it out so the entire family could come and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. And so this is going to be a legit stand up comedy show
Hmm.
that you would normally get in a club. And it's just going to be, some places are churches, some are performing arts centers, wherever it may be in your area. That's what we're doing. We're doing the clean comedy tour so you can get a feel of what it would actually be like. Now, I do share my story because to answer another one of your questions, what do I hope people leave with? See, the wonderful thing about comedy is that laughter tears down walls. Every time you laugh, you're taking down a level. I
Uh-huh.
started dealing with the fact that once I help them tear those walls down, what am I going to put on the inside? So I wanted it to be about mental health. I wanted to be able to say, okay, if someone is sitting out there listening to us right now, they go to my website, they see that I'm coming to their area. They have a difficult time of getting out of the house themselves. I wanted them to know, and this is what I hope the reputation I get. I want my reputation to be that this is a safe place for me to go if I battle any type of depression or anxiety. Mickey's not going to make fun of me. Mickey's not going to demean me. He's not going to put me down. In fact, when I leave after laughing till I pee in my pants, I'm actually leaving with purpose. I actually know what my next steps need to be able to get well. So that's what I'm hoping people leave with whenever they leave the concert.
We froze at the pee your pants.
Yeah.
That is actually where it froze for
It
me.
did. It froze pretty good right at yeah, me too. Yeah.
At pee your pants. Yes.
And
Wow.
We can't make that stuff up. I'm just saying.
that is the
That's so
truth.
good.
That's
That's so good. Taking a peeing in the pants, let's take a break so you can go and clean yourself up, and then we'll come back and finish our time together with comedian Mickey Bell.
Yup.
what he said. BRB.
BRB, so you can go pee pee.
BRB, so you can go. That's a good one.
Since you were mentioning about all the places that you have been, has there ever been a moment that God clearly showed you that laughter was healing somebody in your audience?
Every night. Every night. When I see people come in
Every
and
night.
sit down,
Every night.
What a gift.
out of all the people
What a gift.
that I'm sitting there watching, there is always an individual that will come in that you can tell by their face they're in pain, that they're hurting. And it may take a joke or two. They may not start laughing at the very beginning, but I usually end up getting them by the end. And watching that face change and watching them leave different than the way they came in, it happens every night.
Just so you know, though we can't hear him, it's recording on his phone, so it's still getting recorded, whatever he's saying. We just can't answer him.
Well, what I said was
Yay!
freaking fantastic. I cannot wait for y'all to go back and listen to this because the stuff that I am giving y'all that y'all don't even know you have right now.
He's driving, so that's probably what it is.
He's coming back. I mean, what else is he going to do?
Well, if he doesn't, then we only got this amount to work with. I'm excited to see him in person, though.
You're going to laugh so hard.
Good. I need to.
Well, you have officially won the award of the most difficult to record for Warrior Connections. No, I'm just joking.
On behalf of me and my family,
If there was an award.
if already knows how difficult it is to help me do what I do, I am so sorry.
It's quite all right. We get it.
You would think that in 2025, every spot in this nation should have good cell service.
One would think so.
Yeah, well, they picked me up at St. Louis Airport, so this is your neck of the woods, not mine. Listen, if we can fake putting a man on the moon, then we ought to be able to do an interview without getting interrupted.
That's funny. Are you I saw you were going to I thought you were heading to Ohio, by the way.
Sure.
You don't even know where you're going, do you?
He goes where the bus takes him.
I'm in the back of my bus. I'm in the back of my bus. They're taking me wherever I'm supposed to go. They'll let me know when we're there.
They'll let you know. It's probably because you'll start to get really good phone service.
Yes. That's how I know I've left Missouri, is because my bars just went up.
Yeah.
The bar's on the phone.
That's funny. His fingers.
I have a random question for you.
Sure.
If you could do comedy with one person in the Bible, who would it be and why?
Ooh. That's a hard one. There's so many funny people in the Bible.
Well, I think Zacchaeus would be pretty funny. Because anybody that works with taxes and considered short that had to climb a tree, I think he'd have some stories. Jonah, I think Jonah would probably have a few tales that he could tell. Daisy, let me say this. If I had to give out an award for a question that I have never received in my life,
that'd be it.
That would be from you.
Yay.
Good job.
It's almost like, how can I ask him a comedy question and still be spiritual?
Yes, that's exactly where she was going with
That's where I was going with it. Yes. I was trying to roll it back to Jesus here.
She's always rolling it back to Jesus, which you gotta love her for. So.
Always pointing it back.
Yes,
that's
yes.
right.
All right.
So tell us one joke that never fails to get to the audience no matter what. What's your go-to?
That honestly, right now I'm at the point, and it's a good place to be in because I've not always been here. And that was, you get started and you let the crowd kind of dictate what they want to respond to. Because I can get up there, and if they're really responding to the church type jokes, the denominations, then I've got plenty to go, through on that. But then sometimes they like it when I pick on the teenagers, or they like it when I pick on the senior adults, or so it all depends really on the crowd. They kind of tell you what they think is funny. But I think when I talk about the 85-year-old grandma that stopped me at the concert one night and she said, "Mickey, you had me laughing so hard tonight I almost peed in my pants." And I said, "Sis, you're 85 years old. You were going to pee in your pants whether I had you laughing or not." And she says, "Well, it all depends." So that's usually one that,
That's a good one. That's so funny. All
but Desi, that
depends.
wasn't spiritual. So I don't know why you asked that question.
Well, I was trying to, I don't know. I figured I'd throw it out to make up for it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
question that you couldn't answer.
I
Let me be of the word without being a part of the world.
That's it. So is there any organizations that you work with that you would like our viewers to know about? I know that,
Ab-
well, I had the opportunity of being part of one of your shows, so I'm going somewhere with this. If they would like to feed a family or to buy your merchandise,
Absolutely.
anything you want to share?
Well, that's kind of been my purpose. But I had to have a purpose in my life, and I had to make a purpose to where it wasn't about me, that it was about somebody else. And I got introduced to this program that helps feed families around the world. And so, what I do in every one of my shows is that I get people to sign up and help me, and we try to feed as many families as possible, because it's really hard to hear about the love of Jesus when you have not had a meal in a week. So I want my concerts to always be about missions as well as always having a purpose. And so there are several companies out there that do the child family sponsorships. I represent a lot of them. So any of them that you wanted to sponsor and help out would be very beneficial. You can also reach out to me and I can help you find the family that you would like to help. But yeah, that's one of the purposes that I have that gets me out of the bed each day, is to being able to help a family and know that there is someone that cares about them even though they've never met them.
Amen. All right.
Okay, so I kept talking because I knew I was recording. So when you go back and listen to the recording, I answered your question incomplete.
Perfect.
Perfectly.
That's fabulous. Thank you. Okay. So where to find you, how to connect with you.
So people have really started finding me on social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Mammogram, all of them. So you can just go to the Mickey Bell, or you can go to my website at themickeybell.com. That you can get our schedule. There's a follow button on the schedule that you can hit. And if I come into your area, they will notify you. So yeah, just check us out.
Oh,
I wanted my comedy tour to be reasonable for the entire family. That's why those tickets are only $10 a piece. We wanted to keep it low enough so everybody could come and attend without having to do a second mortgage of the house.
Listen, no, for real though, his show is really funny.
oh, I'm sure.
Oh, welcome back again.
I don't think you're in Missouri anymore.
You're on the moon.
Evidently.
Get your
But
tinfoil.
I cannot wait for y'all to listen to this recording, because I'm giving y'all all kind of stuff once we freeze.
Trisha, I want to hear it all.
All right. We can sit and listen to it all. Editing. I'm going to make you sound so good, Mickey. It's going to make your head spin. I mean, you're just going to be like, wow, I really sounded that good. Well, praise God. Thank you so much, Mickey, for your time. I wish you the best of luck on your travels. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks in Barnhart, Missouri. We're going to have a good time.
Well, if there's anything I have learned by doing this interview with you gals today, people don't understand the technical difficulties we have had, because I've been going through the part of America where Verizon and AT&T does not know exist. So we've not had service. So when I come to Barnhart, Missouri, I'm going to be sure to text my wife before we enter the state, just in case something happens to me and I can't get a hold of her.
Praise God. Well, that's good. You never know.
You just never know.
That's right. Thank you so very much for your time, Mickey. You've been great.
Thank y'all for having me. And I want people to understand they try to figure out how can you have laughter and mental illness. This is your goal. This is
Yeah.
where you want to be able to get. And my goal is if I can make you laugh once, you can continue that every day when you start figuring out how to take control of your thoughts and start working on yourself. You're worth it. Don't allow other people to tear you down. Don't be ashamed of the fact that you battle mental illness. Don't be ashamed of the fact you have to take
Yes.
medication. You do what you have to do to take care of yourself.
Amen.
Amen.
That was great. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow, what an incredible time we had today with comedian Mickey Bell. Mickey, thank you for not just making us laugh, reminding us that joy truly is a gift from God. Laughter is medicine, and you've poured that into our listeners today. Friends, if you want to follow Mickey's journey or catch him on his show, make sure you check him out at
www.themickeybell.com.
support clean comedy that builds faith and spreads hope.
Yeah, Mickey was really awesome. And that was a great outro to Mickey, Desi. We did want to share with the listeners what's coming next month. And I am so excited to share with you just a little sneaky peeky of what's to come.
Listen, y'all have to pray with me that we can keep the momentum of people saying yes to being on our show. No pressure, but I'm feeling the pressure.
No, don't feel
No, I'm just joking.
pressure.
I'm just joking. I'm really thankful that we get the opportunity to talk to such cool people.
Right?
I mean, who knew?
I mean, and God's just dropping them in our laps for the most part. I mean, yeah, you have to do a little extra on occasion, but the fact that they're still saying yes is
Yes.
really cool. Yeah, it's been fun, and each opportunity just sparks more of a blessing, not only for the listeners but for you and I. For me especially, I feel like I get a lot of spiritual growth from this time. And I hope the listeners do too, for sure.
Absolutely. I love hearing how good God has been in so many people's lives.
Right? And
It's just where he's taken them from. And I know this month has been talking about just the weight of the world can be on you. And not to say that mental health isn't sometimes something that needs corrected by medicine, but sometimes the world is just too heavy. And these
that
are
is true.
people that over the last couple shows, you've met someone who went from prison to walking the US, someone who pretty much everyone that we've spoken to has hit the only place left is Jesus.
Right.
And I don't know, I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
think we can all say we've been there or we wouldn't be following Jesus today.
absolutely. You mentioned that, I think in the last episode, was that sometimes everybody's rock bottom is a little different. And it's unfortunate that God has to, God always meets you there. He will always meet you at your rock bottom. But it's unfortunate that so many of us had to get there to find him, you know?
Right.
And
A few times.
that's kind of what we as Warrior Connections are we're trying to do. We're trying to reach people before they hit their rock bottom, before they start feeling like their life isn't worth living. And that's the whole concept of not just our radio show, but our hearts, our desire to help prevent people from making that life altering decision, ending everything for something that, we know because we've been there, that it gets better, that it'll pass, and that
That's right.
there are people out there that love you and want to help you and want to be there for you. This particular episode, for me anyways, really gave me so much hope. It was a not so much a redemptive thing, but more of a, you know, how that God can take you from your low and put you in such a high place that you have the gift. And I mean, I remembered it during the recording, and I just got done editing it, and it is that every night Mickey Bell gets that opportunity to see God be blessing someone through his words, through his laughter, through his joy.
Right.
What an awesome. I mean, that really moved me to hear that he has such an awesome opportunity. Not only, like you said, to make fun of the Karens in the church, but but also the opportunity to bear witness to God's presence and the joy coming over people that are suffering, you know?
Right.
What a cool thing.
Good good ending to the month.
Absolutely. It was
Good way
just a
to
huge blessing to us, and like I said earlier, I really hope to everybody else, because it not only has this radio show been super meaningful to you and I, but, just getting the opportunity to be a part of something special like this is awesome. It feels good. Yeah,
we get to speak Jesus.
that's right. And with some really cool people.
Next month. Hang on for next.
That's right.
We weren't giving hints. I thought we were going to give hints on who was going to be here next month.
Do you want to give hints?
I'm the worst person to ask that. I mean, I'm the person that gives Christmas gifts away before Christmas.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, I'm awful.
My
I'm
daughter
like,
would
"Can I
love
t
you.
I'll tell you what I got you." I get so excited to give them, and it's been since I was little. When I was a little girl, that you go to school and you get to go to that Santa's secret whatever
Yeah,
workshop.
you couldn't do
I
it.
would go home and give all the toys, all the stuff I gave them, and then I would collect it. Then I would wrap it and give it up to them, give it back to them, and expect them to have the same joy and excitement
The
when
second
they
time around?
opened it. Oh yeah, they would have to really. It would just break
Ah,
my whole heart if they weren't excited as I was. Like you have to meet my level of excitement.
I my, my middle daughter is very much like that. She just cannot handle a surprise to save her life. It just eats away at her. It just it she
'Cause
can't.
you get so excited, like you're so excited for that person.
See, no, it's her gifts. It's all about her gifts. So they so we
Aw,
will not be giving hints now, because Desi
uh-oh.
will not be able to handle herself and spill the beans. So tune in next week for an amazing guest on our
We
first
got some
episode.
powerhouses
Yes,
next month.
and our first episode is, that demon worshiper turning demon slayer. So you're going to not want to miss out on her. Tune in next week.
That's my cue. Before we close, I want to leave you with this reminder that the joy of the Lord is our strength. No matter what battle you're fighting, God has given you laughter, hope, and victory. This has been Warrior Connections on Beyond FM Radio, where we suit up, stand strong, and never fight alone. Until next time, keep your armor on, keep your battle buddies close, and remember, Jesus saves.
Amen.
There, I added a hint
I heard.
to an upcoming guest.
You're terrible.
Bye.